Why Indians thought of having their own constitution? That was the first topic. Why Indians thought of having their own constitution? Why we want a constitution? Because before 1946, Britishers they ruled our country. They had their own rule, and in that time, Indians were forced to obey the rules that was implemented by the British. That was made by the British. So these experiences that created Indians that they need a constitution. They need a constitution, democratic constitution or democratic country. They need a democratic country having a constitution. To achieve this objective, India need a constitution. In order to achieve this, they need a constitution. Then how Indian constitution was framed? Already we discussed that how Indian constitution was framed. To establish a democratic society, Indian constitution was framed by a group of around 300 people. Constituent Assembly consists of 300 people. These 300 people, they formed this Constituent Assembly. They framed the constitution. Actually, who framed this constitution? Constituent Assembly framed this constitution. This group of people who framed the constitution is called Constituent Assembly. This constitution was framed not all of a sudden. It takes more than 3 years. The Constituent Assembly met for 3 years from 1946 periodically. It means that they more than 3 years took to frame the constitution. They began to discuss about the constitution, debate conducted, then discussion conducted. 3 years, after 3 years only, the constitution was framed. This constitution mainly focuses on the importance of the people. It means a democratic form of government. The constitution gives more importance to people. Then, while framing the constitution, what are the challenges they faced? First, diverse communities. You know that more than 136 crores of people are there. Now, these being a large population, these people, different types of people, different religion, different occupation, their lifestyle, their rituals, practices, religion, everything is entirely different from one state to another state. So diverse communities, how a law should be implemented, because it should be applicable for the Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Parsis, Jains, Buddhist, Zoroastrianist, and so many religions, Sikh, so many religious sections of the people are there in India. These sections of people, how can we apply a law or a constitution? That was the main challenge they faced. I hope that you understood. The next was partition of the country. You know that India was divided, then Pakistan was formed. When India got freedom, at the same time Pakistan also formed. So this become a difficult situation. So because some people they migrated to Pakistan, some people from Pakistan they migrated towards India. So that become a major issue and major problem. That also look into consider to frame the constitution. Next challenges was that undecided future of the princely state. Princely state means small rulers are there. Petty rulers are there. Petty rulers. These petty rulers, they are ruling in our country. More than 500 petty rulers are there in India. These rulers, they are fighting each other. So in these peoples, how can we make them unite? That was the problem. While framing the constitution, they look into consider about the problems of this princely state. Because this undecided future of the princely state, that was the major problem. So next problem is socio-economic conditions. You know very well that in our society different sections of people are there. These sections of people having different customs, different traditions, as well as different rituals and practices. So that how can we implement the constitution in order to favor all these religion and their festivals? That also look into consider. Next, economic problems. What was the economic condition? when the Britishers they leave our country, when the Britishers they gave freedom to India, that time Indian economic condition was very poor. Why? The main reason is that they took all the wealth of India. The Britishers they took all the wealth of India, so that the country was in a critical stage, a poor economic condition. So, in order to make our country a prosperous country or a wealthy country, that also look into consider while framing the constitution. So, these are the challenges they faced while framing the constitution. After discussing all these problems, they solved one by one problems, diverse communities problems, partition of the country, that also look into consider and solve that problem. Then undecided future of the princely state was either by neutral way. Yes. Any doubt? By a neutral way or by good policies that the joined Indian Union. Otherwise, forcibly, due to the effort of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the Iron Man of India, and V.P. Menon, the princely states were forced to join our Indian Union, so that India become a democratic country and an Indian Union. So next is socio-economic condition. Already I discussed that the problems related to social and economic conditions of India. Next we are studying about how did the Constituent Assembly overcome the various challenges. These are the problems. Diverse communities, that was a problem. Partition of the country, that was another problem. Then undecided future of princely state. That yes.
So separation of power.
Separation of. Okay. We are going to start the features of Indian Constitution. We didn't start it. Okay, we will discuss today. Today we will mainly discuss on separation of powers, fundamental rights, and secularism. Okay, we will discuss. So we are going to learn all these things. Then Constituent Assembly overcome the various challenges. In the previous class we discussed about mainly we discussed about federalism, features of Indian Constitution. First one, federalism. What is federalism? Federalism is the existence of more than one level of government, that is federalism. What is federalism? Existence of more than one level of government. One is state government, you know very well, Kerala state government. Then central government. At the national level, central government, and the state level, our Kerala state government. Like this, different state having their own government, that is state government. Then another is central government. All these states were under the central government, but the central government and state government having independent powers. So this is called federalism. What is federalism? Federalism is the existence of more than one level of state government, then national government, I mean central government. Then the lower level of government that you know very well, that is local government, that is panchayat system, that you know very well. Next is parliamentary form of government. What we can say parliamentary form of government? Parliamentary form of government here means that based on election. Yes, parliamentary form means based on election. What is election? In our country, election, we are giving more importance to election. As per the elections, only leaders were elected. They were the representatives. They were the leaders. They will act for the well-being of the peoples, welfare of the peoples. They never rule against the wishes and will of the people. So, parliamentary form of government. Election is based on this. Any doubt? No doubt.